Welcome to A Mind for Life. We're out here today with another video. We're still in the Endless Being series, and I'm excited about this because I really feel like there's something emerging here, and it's got a lot to do with identity. In the last video, I talked about masculine, feminine energy and how we tend to over-identify ourselves with one or the other based upon physical body parts. And I said in that last video that you are more than just one or the other. You have an equal combination, an equal amount of masculine and feminine energy within you. It's up to you to decide which one is more useful at the moment or what you want to indulge yourself in. And I said it has nothing to do with sexuality. It has nothing to do with physical body parts. You can go back and watch that video. But I was looking at that video and I realized that this same theme is coming up again in this Endless Being series. And that is, today's video is, I'm calling this the illusion of identity. The illusion of identity. We identify ourselves, don't we? Now, if we look up the definition of identity, it says this: the fact of being who a person is. That's all it says. The fact of being a person, of who a person is. That's very shallow. Now, let me say this. This video is going to be a little deep, okay? If you're not a deep diver, you may get lost, and you may want to go back and watch another video. But if you are a deep diver, check this out. You've heard this. Let me see your ID. Your ID. Oh, this is your name. This is where you live. This is your birthday. This is who you are. See, in this society, in this matrix, we get identified, don't we? We get fingerprinted, or we get the picture taken, and that's who we are. We come to associate, and this is important, we come to associate ourselves with these things. My name is whatever your name is. My birth date is this date. I'm this nationality. We identify ourselves with all of these things. And I'm here to tell you today that you are none of those things. Those things were assigned to the being that you are. And there's reasons to get into this. There's a reason to get to know who you really are. And it's got nothing to do with your mind. See, we identify ourselves not just with what's on that ID. We identify ourselves with our thoughts. We identify ourselves with our feelings. We identify ourselves with our preferences, what we like and what we don't like. Yes, we identify ourselves with our bodies too, but the language is a little different with the body. For example, you may say, I have an arm, I have a leg, I have hair, I have feet, I have toenails. But when it comes to certain other things, we tend to look at it a little differently. We tend to say, I am angry. I am happy. I am an American. We tend to identify ourselves in a slightly different level from what I am picking up. But we're not those things either. We're not our feelings. We're not our thoughts. We're not the humor that we have, whatever that humor is. We're not any of these things. And this can be unsettling to know that you can't really know yourself in the sense of your intellect. See, the intellect that we have, and this goes into our identities, is a program. Now, this is sort of the shadow side of this identity, this illusion of identity. Oftentimes what we like, what we don't like, what we find funny, what we're attracted to are programs. They have been given to us without our conscious subscription to them. And oftentimes, and we're in the shadow at this moment in this video, they are at our expense. They are to keep us in a certain way of life to benefit some other entity or group, or maybe an individual. But we've come to identify ourselves with this, haven't we? We don't like credit because they're just out to get my money. We don't like banks because they use the money and they manipulate the money, and they get you into slavery mode, etc., etc. That's the way we see things. I'm just giving an example. However, could it be seen a different way? And ask this question: is the way you are seeing your life benefiting you? Is it serving you now? Is it really serving you? In that example, to see credit or banks as a form of slavery, does that benefit you? Or is there a way you can take this and make this work for you? See, these are the thoughts that we have, that we identify ourselves with, and we don't question. You are being. Now, what is being? Existing? Yes. To be means to exist. But now when we put the ing at the end of be, ing designates an action. It gives action to the verb. So be, if you put ing to it, that means that you are being, you are acting, the being is happening. There's the word run, for example. If you put ing on it, then it's running. So there's an action happening here. You are being, you are a process. You are much larger than what you are. And I'm saying these things because, again, this channel is about growth and freedom. When you understand that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you're not your preferences, you are not your humor, you are not your ideas, you are definitely not what's on your ID card. When you begin to understand that you are a much larger, more infinite being than that, you begin to tap into a greater freedom. So you don't have to be limited by how you grew up and the way they thought while you were growing up. They wanted you to think that same way. And the way they thought when you were growing up reinforced their lifestyle. What if you don't want that lifestyle? You can't think like them, right? Because what they find funny, how they critique the world, is all coming from what they've identified themselves with and who they are, which reinforces their lifestyle in the way they live. Now, what if that's not the way you want to live? How do you get to know this, though? I said before in other videos, you are the little g of your life experience. You are the God of your life experience. Not capital G, but little g. You are the little g of your life experience. You are an infinite being, a process. See, these things that we call thoughts and emotions and preferences and likes and humor and dislikes and the name you've gotten and the birth date and the where you live, your nationality, all of that stuff is going to fade away. That's not going to go with you. The possessions you have that you've identified yourself with, they're not going to go with you. You know, we see a car, we say, oh, that's me. Is it? You get the car and you say, yeah, this is my car. This is me. But it's not you. It's not going to go with you. You've identified yourself with this, just as you've identified yourself with your thoughts. So this begs the question. So who am I? Who am I? We're talking about endless being. Who am I? To get to know, quote, who you are is a revealing. It's not a knowing. Again, these thoughts we have come from the world that we're in. We have language. We think in terms of words and language a lot of times. We think in terms of images. Where do we get the images? Where do we get the language? You are beyond this world. You are an eternal being, a divine eternal being. To get to know, quote unquote, or to have who you are revealed to you is done through meditation. That's right, meditation. Now, I said meditation. Don't get this twisted. I'm not talking about dressing a certain way and going in the mountains with candles and smoke and all this stuff. Meditation is anything that you do that brings you into a quiet mind. It's whatever you do that brings you into a quiet mind. Praying to the Most High is a meditation. Riding a bike is a meditation. Playing music is a meditation. It's just bringing you into a quiet mind. Now, there may be some intentionality behind the meditation, true. But while you're in the meditative state, there is no intentionality. There is no thought. There is no critiquing. There is no analyzing. There is no feeling. There is no humor. There is no preference. See, the infinite being that you are everything and nothing at all. And see, I can't give you this in the video. This video is just to spur you, to get you to a place where you begin to move in the direction of having this revealed to you. Because if I were to really tell you who you are, it would never be who you are. You would identify yourself with what I'm telling you. What I'm saying to you is I'm pointing you in a direction to have who you are revealed to you. And that direction is meditation. Now, my experience of meditation was different ways, but one in my way of meditation, what I discovered was the infiniteness of who I am. I realized that I was not the name, I was not the age, I realized I was not the nationality, I realized I was not the preferences, I realized I was really nothing. And everything at the same time. This is how infinite you are. We're talking about endless being in this series. And the beauty of what I'm telling you right now is that I can't tell it to you. That's the beauty of it. See, if I could tell this to you, then it would just be the same old stuff again. Words and thoughts and ideas and identifications. What I'm talking about is beyond thought. It's beyond words, language, identification. Who you are is beyond the language. Who you are is beyond the nationality. Who you are is beyond the name. Who you are is beyond your understanding. Get this. Who you are is beyond your understanding. You cannot understand who you are. Who you are is revealed. And what I'm suggesting from my experience is the way that this is revealed to you is through meditation, which is any activity that you do that brings you into a quiet mind. And you know what the practical application of all of this is? Choice. 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 True choice is made in the context of awareness. We're talking about a revealed awareness. Now, as this awareness is revealed to you, and you see your personality, which is this catch-all term for thoughts and feelings and preferences and all of that, you see your personality going from this size to this and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And while it's shrinking, there is something that is emerging bigger, but that is always was always there, that you can't put into words. You begin to understand. It becomes revealed to you that all of this stuff you've done, which is not all bad. We talked about the shadow side, but I'm not saying that all of this is bad that we've picked up in this world. A lot of it's survival. A lot of it's to move in life. You have to do arithmetic. 2 + 2 is 4. It's good to know how to read and write because you can communicate. You can get things done. So I'm not saying it's all bad. But you begin to understand that all of this stuff you've done, you've learned a lot. You've experienced a lot. You've seen a lot. You've thought a lot. You've felt a lot. But all of that, it's just a scratch. It's just a scratch. That's all it is on the surface of who you are. And when you get to the point of really realizing this, and it's a realization, it's a revelation through meditation, when you get to that point, wow, I mean, you realize that you can't be put into a box anymore. Think about this. We put ourselves into a box by what we name ourselves. We say we're this nationality. We say that we're this age. We say that we like this. We say that I'm a carpenter. I'm a doctor. We identify with these careers and fields. But we are none of those things. We can even identify with a religion. We are not the religion. We were taught the religion. We read the religion. We were taught about a God that is a certain way and what you have to do and this and that. Your relationship with God did not start with religion. And I want you to understand that. That's a separate video. But that ties into identity. That ties into your identity. All of this stuff that we've done. Man, once you get into the place of really having this revealed to you, you'll see all that effort you put into your identity, and it's just a scratch on the surface, like I said before. So this is something that's revealed to you, and I want you to go back and rewatch this video and begin to take this journey. Begin to take this journey on who you really are. Who you are, you cannot understand. You cannot know in the sense of, I know that it is a certain day. I know it's Thursday. You cannot know yourself like that. You cannot think yourself into knowing yourself. It's a revelation. It is there already. It always was. And it always will be. You are an eternal being. So I want to thank you for coming to A Mindful Life, and I'll see you in the next video in this particular series. Peace out.